What is going on, everyone? Welcome to today's aftermarket trade recap. Briefly, before I get into it, just want to say I noticed in the last video, and there's been a couple videos before, but it's pretty noticeable last time that the microphone was picking up like my PC fan noise and the keyboard, especially yesterday. So it should sort of be fixed now. I'm not 100% that it's gone, but it should be better if not there at all. But yeah, besides that, getting into it, had one trade today, which we'll get into. And then before we get into the 1 minute time frame and everything like that, I'll just show everything that I looked over before the entry. So I was on an hour before PM session, and again, everything was pretty much the same thing as yesterday. Everything I did, and then also just how perfectly price was in the PM session. Price was pretty clear until like 2 p.m. It kind of slowed down, and then after like or once around 2:30 it picked back up. But yeah, so basically same thing as yesterday. Went on the 15-minute time frame. Was looking for what the bias was, and it was bullish. Price was trading around here while I was on the charts. So the first thing I'm looking for, similar to yesterday, which was prominent sell side liquidity or lows, which is what we had today, but the opposite. The bias is bullish, and then there's these prominent highs back to back. So that is where the external bias is. I also noticed that we had a 5 minute inefficiency that we, would most likely tap into, or we're obviously going to tap into as well if my draw is up here. But then zooming out a little bit, I noticed that what gave me 100% conviction that that is the external draw for sure is when I noticed we were also in a market maker buy model. As you can see, we had the sell side of the curve yesterday, which I did catch the move on. And then today we had the opposite, which is the buy side of the curve. And so that's when I knew for sure, that's the external draw. So then just waiting till 1 p.m. Although I would have liked to see us, trade around here till 1 p.m. and then use the external draws as the TP. Possibly. It just depends on, where price would have been at, which didn't happen anyways. But it's not a big deal. Price did end up coming down a little bit. And again, it's just textbook stuff. Everything I want to see. Price again did come down, but then we had 1 p.m. open lower, create this SMT. We left this 2 minute fair value gap, which we did inverse. The only thing I would say, which was we also left another 5 minute, and then we had this high right here. But what I was gonna say is for the entry, and it happens sometimes. There's nothing much you can really do about it. Although I didn't get the perfect entry I would have wanted, which would obviously be right above, or sorry, this candle closing right above the fair value gap. It was higher, which again, in most cases isn't terrible, but as you'll see, in this case, it kind of was because we did get stopped out at break even on this trade, although it did end up running higher, taking out what would have been my final take profit on here, and then did end up coming to these draws, which I'll get a little bit more into as well after I finish this. But yeah, so 2 p.m. opened, or sorry, the 2 minute candle closed. I got basically the exact entry, although I did kind of enter a little late. Really, the only thing that would have saved me in this situation is if I entered once we came a little lower. I did want to see us potentially tap back into the inverse before entering, but it wasn't a big deal as I did lower my size. If we would have tapped back into the inverse, I would have just used one contract of NQ. But since we didn't, and since that kind of changed, I wasn't exactly 100% sure on my stop while I was while I was entering. So that's why I had just moved down to micros. So 5 micros on that, which would have been a 1 to 3. Original stop would have been or the original entry would have been here, obviously, and then original stop, same thing, would have been about 20 points, but most likely below this candle the body of this candle's low. but have to readjust as we did not get the exact entry we wanted. And then uh, price did end up moving upwards, and my break-even point was this first internal high, which we ended up displacing through. But then we did not get the close for it and ended up coming down. Now, yes, it does suck, as this would have been, even on micros, a very nice setup, and just how it played out and with the profit on it. But it is what it is. I could have, said like this would have been my break even, or not. I couldn't even say that because this is the internal high. So at the end of the day, yeah, I got stopped out at break even for doing what I normally do. But has it saved me more times by following my rules of using the internal high at break even than not using it? Yeah, like it's being break even at the internal high has saved me a lot more time. So in this case scenario, although it did kind of screw me over, get me stopped out at break even for a very nice setup, it is what it is. Either way, though, the setup still played out very nicely. Although, like I said, we did get stopped at break even. The final TP did get hit for 60 points. And then, yeah, that's really the only setup for today. And then just very briefly here, I wanted to possibly see for and then yeah, I already mentioned that we ran this all earlier. But then once we had reached the buy side up here and we had this last one left, I did want to see if we could possibly sweep this low, sweep this low, tap into this fair value gap. I would have had like a 4 handle stop loss. It would have been super small to then reach it, which we did not get. And then also, like I wanted to say earlier with these external highs, as you can see, even if we did get that entry, probably would have been another stop at break even because we were about 5 handles off from touching that external high, which, as I had mentioned yesterday, although yeah, I could have had my take profit at the end of the external low from yesterday. If you've seen that video and can recall it, like I said, you have to take profit where you're technically supposed to take profit by what the book would say, where to take profit, which, again, even in this case scenario, this, like I said, would have been my take profit. But let's say I'm holding runners, or let's say I only had 2 contracts. I took off here, and then I say I'm going to hold. And then I left it all the way for wanting to take to here. Well, now, and again, let's say I don't readjust my stop at all or anything. I would have gave back a lot, which in that case is like, even though you're not like in a trade, now your risks, or you're still in the trade, but like you haven't entered, you're basically making no sense of like your risk to reward. Because like, let's say it's up here, it's literally about to hit take profit, but then you don't move your stop, even though if I did in this case scenario have a contract still going, I would have got stopped out at break even, but I would have gave back 1,000, like no, sorry, like it would have been like $2,000. It's like a terrible like RR while in the trade. So again, that's just where it comes down to, like I said, taking profit where it's supposed to be taken. Again, if I had 3 contracts or whatever, in a sense, I could have taken off here. If I, again, really, it would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4 contracts, because take profit off here, take profit here, take profit here, take profit here, and that would have been fine. The last contract would have been the one that would have been stopped out at break. Well, even again, it shouldn't technically be stopped at break even. It should be, way higher than break even by this point. But then, anyways, though, yeah, it did finally get hit right at market close. So not only did the entry model play out, but the whole narrative and bias in general with the external draws, as well as the market maker buy model, got complete right at market close. So yeah, that is it for today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Again, I'm trying to get an AM session, so hopefully tomorrow can be an AM session. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So I'll see you guys next time.